Guys, gals, could this be the biggest crypto of the year? In my opinion, I think it absolutely can. Paid network is really a cryptocurrency that I think is set to explode over the next year. And so many people are not looking into this. And for those of you that are getting in on this, you know that you are about to make some serious cash. Not financial advice, but I want to break this down for you step by step so that you can learn where the opportunities with this cryptocurrency are and maybe take advantage of some of them. So right now, Paid is sitting at a price of about 23 cents. It's number 532 in terms of market cap. Today it's down 4.4%. But I think that this one right now is primed to just absolutely explode. So I'm actually looking to buy a little bit more right down here at this price. Now, I got into Paid back in 2021, and at that point in time, Paid hit its all-time high of $6.04, and you can clearly see that it is down 96.1%. However, on the flip side, you can see here, I actually called Paid in about October from this downturn that we've had and this all-time low that we've hit of $0.01. This has now skyrocketed up almost 2,000%. And again, I showed my students exactly what I was doing. And at this point in time, Paid had not come out with its new tokenomics, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Now, what gives Paid so much value? Well, this is actually one of the use cases of Paid. You can actually stake Paid and earn a staking reward for it, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But not only that, you can qualify for IDOs, and IDOs are initial decentralized exchange offerings, and that means essentially that you're just getting into a crypto long before the general public and at a price that is so sweet. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the returns that I personally made when I got into Paid here. Now, there are some things you need to be mindful of. Like, there are vesting periods when you do buy into these cryptos, but having Paid allows you to get into it. Now, the thing is that you need a certain amount of Paid in order to actually qualify and guarantee that you're going to get any allocation. Okay, an allocation is it. Like, you want to make sure that you are getting a guaranteed allocation. Me, I've spent all sorts of money to make sure that that happens. Now, you can see here, let's take a look at some of the tokenomics. So right here, it shows that there's 594 million Paid in total supply, but the circulating supply is only 246,705,000 Paid. The cool thing is, with this new tokenomics setup, this 594 is no longer the total amount. This 246 is the total amount. They are not going to be printing any more Paid. In fact, they are going to be burning more Paid, and we're going to be talking about this here in a little bit. So when I see things like this, it kind of piques my interest to go, okay, what is it exactly that is going to give this some upward price momentum? And let's get into that right now. Okay, so here's some of the different returns that I got in Paid, and this isn't even like all of them. There was almost every single one that I got into, guys and gals, and there was probably like 60 or 70. They made me a minimum of maybe like $200. So here is some past performance on some IDOs that I got into back in the day in 2021 and 2022 when Paid was just raging hot. Now, the best part about this is there was probably about 50, 60, 70, I can't even remember, however many new projects that Paid launched on their platform. And what ended up happening was every single one that I got into, except for maybe like the last two, because the bull market had completely finished and the bear market had just begun, but every single one I actually made money on. And that's a really cool claim to fame, because now, I personally know that this project does work. We got into this project in the middle of the bull market, okay? And that the reason is because it launched in the middle of the bull market. So when I saw that Paid was like totally redoing their tokenomics, and they're now starting to launch their cryptos at the beginning of the bull market. Oh my gosh, I started freaking out, and I knew that this was going to be probably one of the best plays. In fact, I put a substantial amount of money into this, and time and effort, because it does require some time and effort. Now, you can see here, check this out. Costa, we got in at 4 cents, and this is directly off of their website. All-time high, $1.13. And we made a ton of money on this, a ton of money. Check this one out. $5 for Metis. All-time high, $323. Okay. AFIN, 14 cents. All-time high, $184. These are massive, massive gains. Okay. And a lot of these, the gains, we would just get them, boom, right out the gate. Like these things would hit all-time highs right out the gate. But this is a game that you do need to learn how to play, because if you hold on for too long, you actually may get pretty burnt. Now, how does ignition work? I'm gonna just kind of read through this word by word, because I wanna make sure everybody gets the gist of it. This is how ignition works. So ignition basically has 2 tiers. There's early pool and then open pool. Early pool gets a guaranteed allocation, which is really cool. Open allows anyone to get in, but there is no guaranteed allocation. Okay, now you're gonna be able to basically compete against other open pool and early pool members. Okay, so if you don't get into that early pool because you get in too late or whatever, then you can get into the open pool. Okay, now each one is subject to a 10% participation fee. Now that 10% participation fee is paid back to a treasury that is given back to basically paid stakeholders, and there's a way that it's broken down here that we're going to talk about in the coming slides. So there is a paid community fund, and the paid community fund is a new initiative that will be launched with Paid team initially overseeing operations, with the goal to hand over control to a DAO composed to paid token stakers. So this is kind of cool. They're going like full-blown DAO, so that like us as the stakers, we can make the decisions on behalf of the entire project. The DAO will be used for governance, voting rights, and additional rewards and revenue for paid stakers. This is the part where it gets real juicy, all right? Proposals can be made by the top 50 stakers, which if you have, I think you got to have probably close to, 500,000-600,000 paid in order for that to be worth it. But that's on you. I know where my stack is. I want to get as much paid as I want to, and I do want to try to achieve that. So the paid community fund is filled by the 10% participation fees on all ignition investments, and a 2% on-chain tax applied to all staking relating transactions. So essentially, every time you stake paid and unstake paid, a 2% tax is taken, and it's allocated into this community fund. Now, the community fund will be used to invest in early stage projects, basically seed and pre-seed. And these are not part of the IDO. So this is like some really, really cool stuff. And given that Paid's founder, Kyle Chasse, is the founder of also Master Ventures, these guys have deal flow like crazy. So if you're staking Paid, then all of us that are holding that stake Paid, we are going to be the beneficiaries of these massive deals and these pre-seed and seed deals. And this is where I'm really, really excited about. Despite the fact that you can make a ton of money on IDOs, the pre-seed deals is really going to be where it's at. The rewards of the community fund will be sold and converted to paid tokens and provided to paid stakers as incentives. So what does this do? When those paid are purchased, so all that income is converted into paid, that is going to put a tremendous amount of buy pressure on paid, forcing it upwards. And this is, again, this plus the cap of the 247 million or whatever it was, that's really going to put some massive upside potential on this. And this is what I'm really, really excited about. Now, here's where all this money goes, this 10% and then this 2%. So 25% goes into the paid community fund. So this is where they're going to have the investment treasury via on-chain taxation. and portions of the participation fees collected. Then you're going to have the paid community fund proposed votes on investments, top 50 paid stakers. We can all vote on that. And then if you're one of the top stakers, obviously. Then you have the paid DAO invest, which is where 15.5 ETH worth of paid tokens are extracted from the community fund. 2.5 ETH worth of paid tokens are then sent to a burn wallet, and then 13 ETH worth of paid tokens are sent to the investees, so for the pre-seed and the seed. And then what we have here is the returns from the investments are sold to buy paid tokens. So when they get it, they're going to get, like, let's say XYZ token. Well, they're going to sell those XYZ tokens into paid tokens, okay? 50% are burned immediately. Again, reducing the supply. So that 247 million could be way less by the end of this year. And so the returns are then sold, paid tokens, 50% are burned, and 50% are rewarded to the paid stakers. So if you're staking paid, you are going to be a beneficiary of that. So that's really cool. 50% token burn, 2.5. So this is going to be a really, really, really big deal, guys and gals. I think that there's going to be a lot of money to be made here. Now, they have their first IDO coming up. And I don't even want to say necessarily it's like an IDO because it's a validator node. So you'll be getting residual income from this validator node. I'm not sure if you can even sell a validator node. Like, I know back in the days when, like, Mirandus, which is a game that was established by Gala Games, they had a node, but you couldn't sell the node, but it was pumping out a ton of Gala on a daily basis. Which was really cool. So I don't know, who knows? But these validator nodes can get up there in price. I know that the Gala Game validator nodes were starting at like $3,000 and went all the way up to like $96,000 at the height of the last market. But Gunzilla is a AAA game studio game that is going to be pretty big. It's highly anticipated. There's all sorts of really good designers from like the traditional gaming system. So I think that it's going to be big. It also has its own subnet on Avalanche. So it's launching on its own, basically, blockchain, which is going to keep the speeds fast and the ability to grow and scale really, really good. So this is one that I'm actually really looking forward to. This is one of many. Again, guys, gals, when we were back in 2021, when we were getting into these, they were launching sometimes 3 or 4 new projects per week. Now, there is some things that you need to understand, like the vesting schedules. If you are going to invest in those IDOs, you do have to have some money sitting on the sideline to ready deploy and get into some of these things. But there is a lot to be excited about paid. I think that this is going to be one that's going to make us a lot of money. As I always say, this isn't financial advice. This is crypto. It could be a dud, but given that paid has done so well in the last bull market, I think it's going to do really well in this one. Anyways, guys, gals, see you on the next one. Subscribe and like for more. And if you are interested in joining our group, we have a full-blown app. We teach DeFi. We teach all sorts of really, really cool things, how to become your own bank. There is a discount down below with a link to sign up and become a community member. Right now, it's a 50% discount. Originally, the price was $194, and if you use my discount code, it will actually bring the price down to $97. See you in class. If you guys want to learn more, again, hit that subscribe button down there, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. All right, cheers. Catch you on the next one.